contest in Blacksburg. Serving Hokies first, it's Victoria Wahlgren, the setter. This junior out of Ohio is really impressed as well. And we are underway here in Blacksburg. A denial at the net to get things going for Virginia Tech. Getting the stop, Jordan Hallman. So, Jake, if you look at this contest from the macro perspective, right, Virginia Tech looking to get back to 500, UNC Greensboro looking to go above a 500 for the first time since the beginning of their 2022 campaign. So, as much as it's just a normal non-conference matchup, it matters a lot to both teams.
And for Greensboro, you're coming into an ACC school. You were, bad last year, 1-27.
Right.
Had a rough season. A lot of new players. The coaching staff starting to find their footing. So this is kind of a landmark match as part of their schedule. We're going to get a challenge to start the match from Marcy Byers of Virginia Tech. They're looking for, I believe, a touch off the block. The call was out of bounds. Looking for a touch off the block. We should hear it right from our official.
The call was out. VT is challenging that there is a touch on the block.
Yeah, NCAA volleyball taking a page out of the book of, let's say, the NBA this year. We get to hear the refs. That changes things.
Yeah, I think it adds something to the experience for everybody in the arena and then everybody viewing at home. Hear it straight from the official.
Yeah, last year you and I had a couple of reviews and just had to sit there and speculate. So good to hear it from the source.
It is. So
Virginia Tech trying to get this challenge turned over. Started 2-0. We just got rolling here in Blacksburg. It's the Hokies and UNC Greensboro for a fun one. There's a shot of Marcy Byers. So you think she saw a tip?
Yeah, I mean, she's getting that from her players, from Sarah Malinowski, who took that attack on the right side. It's certainly plausible. I don't think that it's right in front of us. I didn't see one. Libero for UNC Greensboro didn't get it in the back row either. Here's a look at it right there. So it's clearly out. Question is
all of them are saying it got touched. Now, if you're Marcy Byers, and that is close, and you see your team denying that immediately, are you just going to buy into what your players are saying?
Yeah. Oh.
Call stands.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
the ref pointed the wrong
we have
way.
the official going the wrong way there. So yeah, call stands. Call stands. So it's going to be point UNC Greensboro. Did not see a touch off the block. To your point, I think that you have to develop that. My coach, I was out of coaching before the challenge replay system existed, so I have no experience doing it as a coach. But I think that you want to keep trying to develop that trust with your players. Like, hey, I have a limited number of challenges if we don't get it right. So I need you to be sure if you're telling me that there's a touch on the block, a ball's in, ball's out, something like that.
There's Belle Patrick getting her first kill of the afternoon. Virginia Tech leads 2-1, just underway here in Blacksburg. Good all-time series between these two teams, too. Their 8th time meeting on the hardwood. The Hokies have won all 7 matchups dating back to 1980. Near side swing, tipped out of play. UNC Greensboro with the point. Allie Sweet getting the kill. So there you go, the 2 freshmen we highlight, Jake, and immediately making an impact.
Yeah, Sweet is going to be a problem the entire time here for Virginia Tech to handle.
Here's Azora Gragg out of North Carolina, the sophomore. Sends that one out of play.
So all 3 teams that Virginia Tech has faced this weekend, Norfolk State, UNC Greensboro, and Cleveland State, have a left-handed sitter. All 3 teams.
Marcy Byers, head coach for Virginia Tech, 4-time Big South Coach of the Year with Radford. 5th year with Virginia Tech, kind of rebuilding still here. Near side swing, Sweet sends that one out of play. 2 kills for her already. Now, when you recruit a freshman, Jake, and they immediately become one of the best hitters in the conference, as Allie Sweet leads the SoCon in kills, I mean, do you just notch that up to luck or just trust in your recruiting?
I think you know what you have coming in. You know what your level is. You've seen the league. And I coached in the Southern Conference for a while. It was a while back, though. And I think that, I look and see someone like Allie Sweet, and she's a fit for kind of an upper-tier SoCon, SoCon outside hitter. Ball's off the block and just on the line there.
Getting the stuff was Emily Hanlon. the outside hitter, grad from UNC Wilmington.
A little unlucky for Virginia Tech there. As you see, they do a decent job in coverage. They're covering well. It's just you can't account for all 900 square feet of court.
That one pushed out of play. And Virginia Tech ties it back up 4-4 early in this contest. Now, the last time UNC Greensboro and Virginia Tech faced off was back in 2009. That's the fun part about these non-conference tournaments. You get a bunch of random teams facing each other. It's the first time in 15 years these two programs meet on the hardwood. Float serve. A little bit of a hard handle by the libero. That one poked out of play. UNC Greensboro with the point.
There's a lineup change for Virginia Tech today. We have Leandra Manuel Duran is in at libero. She was playing some defensive specialist yesterday. She's replacing Eji Yodez in the libero jersey. I think, again, Virginia Tech is just trying to find some answers after a loss last night and kind of a shaky performance against Norfolk State as well.
Yeah, looking to clean up those receives. Manuel Duran, if I'm not mistaken, first time we're seeing her in that libero jersey.
This weekend, yes. A little bit against Winthrop the first weekend of the season.
Formerly an outside hitter and takes pride in her receives. That one denied up front. 3 blocks already for UNC Greensboro. Here's Madeline Timmerman. Maddie, they call her. One of 2 Timmerman sisters on this team. But Virginia Tech finds the soft spot near side.
Yeah, Walgren with a nice little right-hand dump over her right shoulder. That has to be unblocked because it's not going to make it past the block. So if you know you don't have a blocker kind of behind you off your right shoulder, you can just kind of tap that one down. Especially when you have a middle blocker like Timmerman playing, serving and playing defense in that left back position for that one rotation.
Haley Pierce, sophomore out of North Carolina with the serve here. Stuffed at the net, Jasmine Robinson with the block.
Virginia Tech executes here on the block. Bad pass, high out of system set here. Walgren does a good job setting the block inside against Timmerman. And Robinson's there. She closes well as there, executes the block.
Good dig by Nussbaum. And that one smacked out of play. Hard swing on the far side. Getting the kill there, Emily Hanlon. She'll get subbed off. So if you're Felicia Turner, what are you seeing in this 2-point lead over Virginia Tech early?
I think early is exactly right. I mean, you're just trying to feel them out. You're trying to stick to your game plan and see if you're going to keep a 2-3 point lead. There's nothing to change there. You want to see how Virginia Tech adjusts. Is your team going to keep maintaining that higher level of play? You don't really know anything until about halfway, 2/3 of the way through the first set. I mean, they haven't even made it all the way around through the whole rotation yet.
Robinson with the serve. UNC Greensboro handles it fine. And they are going to McKenna Timmerman a ton on that near side.
Yeah, McKenna Timmerman, that's a pretty up-tempo set to her. She's more of the, what we say the L2 position, kind of that second outside, who spends 2 out of 3 of her rotations as part of a 3-hitter phase, so she doesn't have to carry as much of a load offensively. They tend to be more of a ball control player, defensive player, primary passer, whereas Sweet is out there to mash points. But if you're going to get production out of your L2, you're going to have a good day.
Quick tempo up the middle, but Virginia Tech responds. Good dig by Sasaki. Far side swing.
Ooh.
Wow, right back at the Hokies.
That's going to be a lift. Yep. They're going to get Hallman there for a throw, essentially. That's a point of emphasis with NCAA officiating this year, trying to take some of those chuck and throws out of the play. Usually we see a lot in the middle. That's a big swing right there. Nussbaum just kind of hangs in. You know what? Any ball that hits you and kind of generally goes back into the corner towards your teammates is a good dig.
That one smacked out of play. So 2 plays ago on that throw, you called it, right? Is that more of the setter's fault and too quick a tempo?
No, sometimes it's a misconnection.
Okay.
But often players, instead of tipping, will try and kind of jam or power tip that. And if you catch it from behind your head and throw, or if you kind of rotate through 2 different joints, like your shoulder and your elbow, you're going to get called there. Not so much the last few years, which is why they're trying to crack down on it a little bit.
The kinetics of a swing broken down by Jake Lawrence there. Sweet can't get it to go. Far side swing. And out of play. Bell Patrick with her 3rd kill.
So they're asking right now, UNC Greensboro is asking Chloe Nussbaum to take a lot of court here in left back. That's got to be Timmerman in middle back. You know, that high off the block type of thing, that's going to be your middle back running that down. Whereas you want your left back, your libero in this instance, looking for those clean swings that get past the block with full power.
Hugging the line, and they're going to say it was out.
A big part of team defense, you know, is knowing what your responsibility is. Obviously, if you're in the right place and the ball's hit at you, it's yours. It's when the ball isn't hit at you. It's when the ball is deflected by the block. You know, what are my responsibilities for off-speed shots, for you know, positive block touch swings? That's where you really have to start working together and understanding your role.
Victoria Walgren with 9 service aces, but that is her 7th service error of the year. UNC Greensboro snaps that 3-0 run by Virginia Tech to tie it up at 10 apiece. Libero with the serve here. Up the middle and right to the hardwood. Bell Patrick again.
That's Jordan Hallman there in the middle. I think that's an area where Virginia Tech has a good matchup. Hallman on time, quick swing, swings that deep 5-6, that deep corner shot. There's no defender there. That's just good offense.
Patrick with the serve. 15 kills against Norfolk State yesterday. Free ball for the Hokies. Malinowski can't get it. Sweet with the response, back up. And a roll shot, UNC Greensboro handles it fine. Set by Gregg, smacked down, Virginia Tech finds it again. Malinowski denied at the net. Back up, a joust. And Greensboro gets the point. What a rally. Maddie Timmerman, the one finding hardwood on that ricochet at the net.
Elizabeth Aylward coming in for Bell Patrick in the back row after Patrick serves.
Zora Gregg, setter out of North Carolina. With the serve here, UNCG up by 1, nearly midway through this first set. Far side, and finding hardwood. Emily Hanlon with her first kill.
Hanlon with a little bit of a miss hit there, a little bit of a spatch. Catches, Walgren leaning the other way. You know, you're not looking for that miss hit right there. You see the effectiveness of right side attack. It's hard to defend.
UNCG up by 2. And a long tempo is stuffed into the net. Maybe a little bit low of a set by Walgren there. And trying to find that kill was Haley Pierce. Now, Virginia Tech has struggled in a lot of major offensive categories this year, Jake. Hitting percentage, they're dead last in the ACC. Of course, ACC play hasn't started yet. And it looks like UNC Greensboro might be calling timeout in a second. All right, Virginia Tech down by 4.
Last year is crazy. I remember playing them when I was at College of Charleston, and how far that program has come in the last 10 years is remarkable.
That one tipped out of play, a nice swing by Malinowski, and we haven't seen too much of that yet. Efficient hitting in this.
No, Virginia Tech right now is hitting 091 on 22 swings. UNC Greensboro 222, 16-11. Leah's worth 222 versus 091 is worth a 5-point lead so far.
Sweet pushes it over. That one might have been out, but They put it back in. Cross-court swing, and they get the kill. Virginia Tech with their first point.
That's the first really good swing for Haley Pierce so far this match. She was negative. She was hitting negative 333 on 6 swings so far going into that. She really comes inside the block, challenges Nussbaum. I bet Nussbaum's going to want that one back. That's kind of right at her. If you're a libero, you think you should be able to dig that ball.
Here's Leandra Manuel Duran. Greg with a one-handed set. Joust at the net, a free ball, and it's just out. All right, here's a question for you. Leandra Manuel Duran, mainly an outside hitter, becoming more of a defensive specialist. She's wearing the libero jersey today. She does have clean receives at 95%, but it was her hitting efficiency that was the question as an outside hitter. Is that a part of why she's become a libero?
I think that that was her role when she was at Missouri, was really defensive specialist. She didn't really hit much there in the SEC. She played a lot of left side last year for Virginia Tech. This year, it's been kind of a battle. Belle Patrick's had a good year. Haley Pierce is probably your best attacker on the team, so there isn't a whole lot of room at that left side spot. So she was playing defensive specialist this weekend. Now we see her in the libero jersey. They're trying to find some better receive.
Oh, what a dig, but they can't get it. Got to respect the effort from Nussbaum, but getting the kill on the far side.
It's also a difference of, with Manuel Duran, like you're putting a graduate student in that position rather than a true freshman with Egiodaz. So you're getting a little bit more experience on what is generally a young team. As Aisha Carrick comes in, who's another freshman here. We see that jump with at Missouri, like not being an offensive player at Missouri from Manuel Duran, moving to Virginia Tech last year and becoming kind of a key attacker.
Soft serve over from Carrick. She gets the dig. Tempo up the middle.
It's interesting. UNC Greensboro really hasn't committed to block any of Virginia Tech's back row attackers so far, whether it's Carrick. The last time she was in, Aylward right there. Greensboro seems pretty confident that they can dig those back row attacks without having to block.
Quick tempo up the middle again. Robinson finds Hardwood.
Yeah, it's really good pass, good set, good swing out of the middle. If you're UNC Greensboro, hey, let's move on to the next point. Virginia Tech does something really well there. I'll tell you what, that
was close.
That didn't look in, but no argument from anybody in blue.
Serve over by Haley Pierce, sophomore out of Charlotte. Block at the net. Near side swing is pushed away by Timmerman, and Virginia Tech with the point. Now, you're saying that UNC Greensboro not really throwing the block up a ton. I think this might be by design because of all the offensive categories and defensive categories for the Hokies. The one that they lead the league in the ACC in is opponent blocks. They get blocked the least. Do you think that's by design?
I mean, usually on the back row, this year for NCAA volleyball, and he forgot to do it. The call is out, no touch, or out off the antenna. We never got that explanation. Oh, yeah, there. That's very, very clear. That's off Walgren's hand directly into the antenna. That is about as clear as you can possibly get. That's why it was such a quick turnaround. So 19-15 here for North Carolina Greensboro. Danger time for Virginia Tech. They're in rotation 5 here is Jasmine Robinson and Belle Patrick. Robinson's going to be on a back one or a front one here. So just behind the setter or just in front of the setter on a quick set. Patrick on the left.
6', the libero, ready to serve. UNCG leads by 4 in set 1. Robinson can't get it to go. And a free ball for the Hokies. Fake to Robinson and a soft touch over. Greg with the set. Near side swing denied. Virginia Tech back within 3.
Now Walgren, good move there. Times it really well. Really shuts off the pin, as you can see. Timmerman tries to go low seam, which is that space in between the two blockers. High seam, you can get a lot of kills off the block. Low seam, you're going to get blocked.
Hokies would like to see more of that out of Walgren. Just her 15th block of the year. Near side swing, and she gets it cross court, getting the kill there.
Yeah, Walgren sets the block all the way on the antenna that time. Timmerman goes hard cross. Jordan Hallman doesn't close the block in the middle, doesn't get shoulder to shoulder, leaves a big hole. Timmerman exploits it. Ece Yodaz in the match now, playing defensive specialist. Freshman out of Istanbul.
One of 3 international recruits on the roster. Oh, what a dig. Finding that one is Nussbaum. Free ball for the Hokies. Nussbaum with another effort, and they can't get it over.
Nussbaum gets that up. You guys got to be able to free ball that over.
2 points in a row for Virginia Tech.
Libero sells out there. Makes a nice dig on a quick middle attack. So now it's Allie Sweet having rotated to the front row.
Allie Sweet as a freshman, one of the most impressive swingers in the SoCon. Near side set. They have to punch it over.
That's a good save from Belle Patrick.
Sweet denied.
Is that off of Sweet? Yep. First official has the call. That ball is blocked, and it was blocked off of Allie Sweet before it went out of bounds.
So a quick ricochet there, and Virginia Tech with their 3rd straight point now, back within 2.
Joya Teeter in perfect position to make that call. She's probably in the best position out of anybody in the gym to see that. We'll see it right here. Off of Sweet. That ball hits Sweet kind of on her right side of her body before it goes out of bounds.
And in that play, too, how about that save from Belle Patrick?
Just kind of, she was in real trouble there on that set. That was a bad set, trapped tight to the net. Patrick, is able to get it, kind of chop it over the net, but also manages to not net herself or go under.
So Virginia Tech climbing back within 2. I was sitting here pregame watching Norfolk State and Cleveland State play, and the energy that these teams bring, it's really unlike anything else, right? When you were in your volleyball days, talk about really meshing together over one sport.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a high energy sport. I mean you rely on your teammates in a way that other sports you don't, because you can only touch the ball one time in a row. You know what I mean? Everybody more people have to contribute than just one person. So that cohesiveness is a characteristic of good teams.
Belle Patrick leading the way with 4 kills for the Hokies, and same number for McKenna Timmerman on the other side for UNCG.
Right now, Allie Sweet hitting 0 on 8 attempts, 2 kills, 2 errors on 8 swings. Pierce hitting 0 as well. Belle Patrick 500 on 8 attempts. So we're not seeing a lot of efficiency on the pins on the left side right now from either team. UNC Greensboro at 148 and the Hokies at 118 here as they are down 2, with Greensboro trying to side out and then close this set out. It should be a pretty good rotation here with Allie Sweet and America Anderson for UNC Greensboro. One thing is, Greg is not really an offensive threat, averaging fewer than 0.5 kills per set this season.
Sweet's attempt is handled fine. Second try, up the middle. What a dig.
I love that slow 2-ball. That slow one.
I think they called a double on that.
No, it's going to be a net call against America Anderson there on the block. Took a second for the down official to make that whistle. We'll see Anderson right here.
Oh, that's close, but
someone caught
might
it.
have been Sweet.
That was Sweet's hair. Her hair, hair does not count.
Okay.
if your ponytail hits the net, it is not a net violation.
It's good to know. And that one, a service error. Far to the left side. I mean, was she trying to find a weak point over there?
I mean, that's probably the zone she got from the bench. I don't mind a missed serve wide. I think that's an extreme serve. It's almost on the line. It's almost in. It's going to be a very difficult pass if it's in. You want to execute late in sets, but still, it's not a terrible miss.
Sweet. Gets it this time.
Yeah, they're really pushing the tempo here in transitions. That's a lower, faster set to the alley Sweet on the left side, forcing Jordan Hallman to really make that move to close.
And Virginia Tech wants to talk things over. Timeout by Marcy Byers. Last one to work with in this set as they're down 3. And what are you talking about here if you're Marcy trying to climb back into this one?
They've struggled to find solid passing from anybody but Leandra Manuel Duran at the libero position. So you've got to have your attackers who are also in the passing pattern step up and get you into system right now. Because, again, you're hitting 139 on the match, and that's because you're not able to get the ball to to Haley Pierce in system, get her one-on-one. She's taking a lot of swings on bad sets. Sarah Malinowski, who's generally a pretty efficient attacker, is hitting negative. It's cliche, but without that pass, you're really in trouble. You're really putting yourself in a bad situation. And Greensboro is transitioning really well here.
Yeah.
They're running fast in transition. It makes it much more difficult to defend.
Well, you don't want to be one-dimensional as an offense, and so here are your options to lean on, Jake. Who else are you going to look for if you're trying to get more kills?
Right now, I mean, I've kind of been saying all the last couple matches for Virginia Tech, getting the middles more involved, middles are generally efficient attackers. Getting the ball to Jordan Hallman here, if you can. This is a tough rotation for Virginia Tech, though, because it's rotation 1 and they're stacked. So Bell Patrick, Sarah Malinowski, who we see right here on camera, and Jordan Hallman, who we see on camera, are all stacked on the offensive left side. This is typically a slide attack from Hallman behind the setter, Malinowski up the middle on a 2-ball, but they love setting Bell Patrick here.
Bell Patrick and Haley Pierce combining for 7 kills in this set.
It's immediate having to go bump set here out of system on a bad pass.
Sweet. An attacking error. Her 3rd one of the afternoon, and Virginia Tech's back within 2.
Yeah, Sweet's got to find a way to keep that in the court. You're not getting a kill. It's a bad set. It's off. It's inside. It's low. Greg said immediately, I'll get you closer to the net. In that spot, you're not scoring. So how do you either not make a hitting error or at least create some chaos for Virginia Tech?
Bell Patrick letting it fly on the serve. Bad receive and a free ball for the Hokies. Gravitizing that one on the far side. Haley Pierce with her 4th.
And so you see that, generate a free ball. Hallman's able to hold the middle blocker, able to hold Timmerman in the middle, and gets Pierce kind of that seam working against Greg. The matchup here for Virginia Tech is Pierce on Greg, because Greg is probably the smallest, weakest blocker for UNC Greensboro. She's their setter. That's not her primary job. That's okay. Greensboro has to understand that matchup. That, okay, Virginia Tech's going to try and set their best hitter matched up against our smallest blocker. That's where the ball's going to go, especially in transition. So what do you do defensively to account for that? Well, you need to try and take some pressure away from McKenna Timmerman in the middle. Maddie Timmerman in the middle to let her release easier to double block. Another thing you can do is make sure that your middle back rolls up into that seam, takes away more of the middle of the court in case the block doesn't close.
Zora Greg has been efficient, 320 assists. That's good for 2nd in the Southern Conference. Still the same faces leading the way. 8 kills combined between Pierce and Patrick for Virginia Tech, and You've got 7 combined between Allie Sweet and, right now, McKenna Timmerman leading the way for UNCG. Patrick to serve.
If you get a side out here, if you're Greensboro, you get a side out, you're up 23-21. You're in a pretty good spot.
Backside set. Couldn't find that one. Denied at the net, Virginia Tech. And a back row swing, and it finds net this time. Allie Sweet lets it rip. What a dig by Mangual Duran. Roll shot and back up. On the slide, they get it to go. Finding it this time.
Kind of grind one out there, UNC Greensboro does. Timmerman here on the slide, takes it back cross court for the kill. Now, Emily Hanlon comes into the match on the right side. She's one of their better blockers. This is going to be probably their best blocking rotation here with Sweet, Hanlon, and Timmerman.
Maddie Timmerman, 6 kills in their last match. She's already got 5, but Virginia Tech immediately responds. This one's going down to the wire.
Yeah, it's a different play set here for Virginia Tech. They send Hallman on the slide, Malinowski kind of on a quick on a 31, and then bring Haley Pierce up the middle. We see Malinowski stays on the outside. If I'm Greensboro, I'm just going to ignore Malinowski out there on the outside. They're not going to set that ball unless it's a bad pass. That's going Haley Pierce all the way.
Up the middle and denied at the net. Emily Hanlon couldn't get it to go, and we're tied at 23 apiece. Jasmine Robinson with her 3rd block.
Yes, Hanlon never really connects with that. She was absolutely stuffed one way or the other there. Robinson was all over that.
Allie Sweet gets it to go.
That's a big side out there for Greensboro because Felicia Turner is out of timeouts. Virginia Tech is still sitting on one right now here, down set point. Look for this ball to go to Haley Pierce or Jasmine Robinson. It's a good pass. It is a good pass.
Down the middle and tying it at 24 apiece, Jasmine Robinson.
Robinson's been very efficient this weekend, recently, and overall this season for Virginia Tech. That's a matchup where the Hokies have a physical advantage there. You know, they're bigger and higher in the middle, and making the match about the things that they're really good at or better at than UNC Greensboro has to be a priority.
Robinson at 6'1", one of the tallest the Hokies have to offer. 24 apiece. Hanlon can't get it. Set by Mangual Duran. Far side swing and tipped out of play. Haley Pierce with the kill. Who are you serving to here?
I think go to Karen. She has the fewest receives out of all 3 receivers here. It's exactly where they go.
On the slide. Far side swing for Virginia Tech. Mishandled by UNCG. Blocked by Robinson. Hokies take set 1.
For Power 5 if the Pac-12 has survived, Power 5 programs, and these smaller mid low major teams.
Block up the middle by Hanlon, and it's 1-0 UNCG to open up this set as the Hokies lead at 1-0.
Because also the other thing is it's expensive because the way that men's basketball, women's basketball, and football have operated for years with guaranteed buy games, not doing home and homes, paying teams to come play. Used to be you would say, hey, we're going to have a tournament, we're going to pay for your hotels, all that kind of stuff, because you knew when you would go on the road to someone else, they were going to pay for your hotels. It all kind of even out. With these tournaments starting to die off a little bit, you're seeing just straight cash guarantees. So it is becoming more expensive to bring teams in to get home matches where you don't have to return.
As a formerly broke college student, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
I've heard up to $15,000 and even $20,000 now for one guarantee game in volleyball, which that's unheard of a decade ago.
Big differences in college volleyball this year. UNCG leading it 2-1. Here's Maddie Timmerman letting this serve fly, the Eastern Michigan transfer in her second year. Up the middle, and Robinson gets the kill.
That has to be a priority for Victoria Walgren. Keep Jasmine Robinson involved there. I have not seen them set her on that 31. This is a quick set. You see the distance between, there's about 10 feet between setter and attacker there. It's hard to execute, but with enough repetitions, you get good at it. If Robinson's going to put it away like that, you got to keep feeding her the ball.
Near side swing is blocked. Getting the stuff there, Haley Pierce.
I think that ball hit the floor before the attacker hit the floor. That thing was roofed.
From the rafters, Haley Pierce.
Pierce using her length there. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's...
And the cheers from her teammate, Jasmine Robinson.
That's just putting someone in jail right there.
Up tempo. Mangual Duran gets the set and a far side swing. Dug out. Threading that one through. UNCG ties it back up. McKenna Timmerman with the kill.
Yeah, Timmerman finds that hole. Robinson doesn't get closed. I think Walgren's floating a little bit there on the block too. Timmerman exploits that hole for the kill.
Timmerman, the younger of the two Timmerman sisters on this roster. Gardner-Webb transfer from this past portal. Tip back up, and Pierce with an easy one. (4-3) Virginia Tech. Jake, you're on record of saying, hey, first to 20, right? But clearly not the case in set one.
Not at all. You know, once you get to 20 points, it's really closing time. And Greensboro had a hard time closing that set out. Offense fizzled right at the end. Now they find themselves in a real dogfight.
They'll go to McKenna Timmerman again. The set was behind her a little bit. Joust at the net. UNCG has to fight for it. Cross-court swing, out of play. Just cleaner defense by Virginia Tech on that one. Hokies lead by 2 early in set 2. Haley Pierce with the serve. He'll take it.
That's tough. I mean, those tend to even out, those serves that hit the tape and dribble over. Something that's within a couple feet of the 10-foot line, though, that's got to get done. That almost landed on the 10-foot line. That ball can't be an ace. If it falls straight down the net, okay, unlucky, move on. But those are the ones you have to be looking for that.
What a dig by Mangual Duran. Put back in play. And it's a free ball for UNCG. Timmerman stuffed by Robinson. They'll go back to her. The set a little off kilter. And a setter dump. They're going to call it in.
Whole bench for UNC Greensboro has that out. Felicia Turner's immediately challenging that.
Yeah, that one was close.
I'd like to see it. We'll see it right here. Walgren goes there.
Oof.
Ooh.
And that is close.
That's hard to see it at live speed.
Look, I wear glasses, so I'm giving you my best guess.
The ball was called in. Greensboro is challenging that the ball was out.
UNCG trying to get that one overturned. Felicia Turner, second-year head coach, chatting with her pupils, and she was right there for that call as it landed on basically the C of that Carillion Clinic logo over there. Overhead view here. Oof. Man, let's get the VAR tennis style on that one, huh?
I would have that as out, personally. So now, you know, Kyle, the Olympics uses a system called Bolt, which is essentially Hawkeye. Here's a good look at it again. That ball's out. That ball's out.
Can't blame that line judge, though, huh?
I'm willing to be wrong. That ball's out. So the Olympics uses a system called Bolt, which is very similar to Hawkeye, essentially the same thing. And Then they use high-speed cameras that are focused on the attack points in the net so they can see touches very easily and very clearly. And we started, SEC is going to use Hawkeye this year for league play. Here's our call. Not sure we pressed the button. We're going to find out in a second, though.
Suspense.
After official review, the previous call, the court has been
Out.
reversed.
Out. Okay. Successful challenge there for UNC Greensboro. So also, the opening night of the season, the ABCA first serve event in Louisville used the Bolt system, the full international system, for 2 matches for it was Nebraska, Louisville, and Wisconsin, Kentucky. That's not right. Other way around. So they used that, and it was great. It was super efficient. They don't need line judges at all. The up official has a screen on their stand for anything that's close. They immediately get shown in or out, so they don't even have to go to review on in and out. So all they have to review is really touches and net calls. Super efficient, and really it's going to be the future.
Reaching high for that swing and getting the kill is Bell Patrick. So volleyball going the baseball route, huh? Just the automated strike zone, essentially.
Yeah, but in and out's easy. Like, that's so easy.
Yeah.
Cameras can do that. It's the judgment calls that are hard, and frankly, with how we've really essentially eliminated the double contact this year in college volleyball, we're really reducing the amount of judgment calls that officials are required to make.
Free ball for UNCG. They're down 3. Far side swing by Sweet, and she gets it to go.
It is very strange, though, to turn on a pro match from Europe, like the Italian League or the Turkish League, or watch the Olympics, and there's no line judges. And that just, as the lizard part of my volleyball brain just rejects that. Like, where are they? Did they forget to schedule them? But it works. And to the point where you watch, that's a great dig.
What a dig. Finding that one for UNCG was Nussbaum, but a far side swing from Patrick, and the Hokies add another point. They're on top by 3.
Said you have a point now in the Olympics when you see players if there was a question if they touched it or not in the block, you will frequently see blockers just give the article, tell the ref, hey, I touched it, because they know that they're going to see it on camera. So let's not waste everybody's time.
Right.
You know, they're going to catch me, so it just speeds the match up a lot, which I think is good.
Tough receive on the far side from UNCG's Avery Zixai. Sweet. Couldn't get it. Good dig by Mangual Duran. Patrick lets it fly and gets it to go.
Yeah, Virginia Tech has found their legs here a little bit. Really coming around on offense, hitting 308 to start this set. And it's clamped down defensively. They put Greensboro in a lot of trouble. That's Patrick just kind of pounding it through that seam, taking advantage of the setter, Grag, being front row.
They go to Sweet again, and a roll shot dug out by Mangual Duran. Tipped out of bounds. Hokies up 10-5. Easiel D's this time. All right, UNCG going to take the timeout as they're down by half the score midway through set 2. Sid, Malinowski, and Many getting the blocks.
Yeah, 5 total team blocks so far for Virginia Tech. We see Pierce with that big one on the pin. Jasmine Robinson with 3 blocks total so far. Big factor in Virginia Tech holding UNC Greensboro to only 115 hitting percentage and 071 in set 2. This is Virginia Tech starting to assert their size and physicality against a smaller team.
Robinson, especially that middle blocker, has been a mainstay at the net.
Wicked ace from Victoria Walgren right there.
One of Walgren's specialties. Her 10th service ace of the year.
I think Virginia Tech serving has been good today. I think it's been the best part of their performance so far, really forcing UNC Greensboro into some difficult spots offensively.
Just
Another
2
tough
service errors, too.
Another tough serve. This is where it can really get away from you. So it's 12-5 Virginia Tech. Greensboro's having a hard time passing. Yeah, it's tough serve. I mean, it's low, it's driven. But number one job in serve receive, Kyle, prevent the ace. Don't get aced. It sounds so basic. We have.
Now they're talking about something over at the
We are
scores table.
talking to our scorekeeper about something.
Hey, how's your day going? What are you doing? What's going on? A lot of conversations at the scores table today. What do you think they're looking at?
There is some sort of mistake with the substitution. They're pointing at Edgy Yildiz. Caleb Adams, assistant coach for Virginia Tech, is just talking with our down official. So if I mean, there's a lot of things that this could be here. They could have subbed in the wrong person, could have put the wrong number on the lineup sheet, which is possible. The down official checks that at the start of each set, but even if the
as much as 5 in set one. Came back, won it 26-24. So the Hokies lead 1-0. And with these substitution issues right now, the Hokies are up by 7, but we're waiting to see what the penalization may be. And of course with that, all the antics of an extended timeout, you could say, inside Castle. What's the word, Jake? What are we getting here?
Okay, I talked with our first official here, and what happened was there was a substitution. Edgy Yildiz coming on the court at 7-5. And what happened was the officiating crew missed recording it in the scorebook, or missed recording it in the scorebook. So they're correcting it in the scorebook, and because it was a scoring and officiating error, they are not penalizing Virginia Tech. So she was never recorded as coming into the match, and that matters for reasons very specific to volleyball and how the scorebook is kept. But because it was an officiating error, they will not penalize the Hokies for it. That's a once in a forever situation, actually.
Belpatrick gets the kill out of that extended timeout. So what I'm hearing right now is that these PAVO raters are putting down bad numbers on someone.
So Joy Teeter, who's our first official, that is actually, I think, really outstanding work from where we sit as broadcasters to be able to communicate that to us in the middle of the match. Like, that's not common, and thank you to her, because otherwise we would have no idea what just happened.
Block at the net, UNC Greensboro with their 6th point. And for those who haven't worked with Jake Lawrence before, this guy's a man on a mission. You put your headset down, you said, I'm getting to the bottom of this. I would have been lost. So thanks,
honestly,
Jake.
I would have been lost too, because they would have this whole episode out there and then kept the scorebook exactly the same. So I'm glad that we were able to get an explanation.
What a swing on the far side by Belpatrick. She's having fun today. Little Selly after the swing, and the Hokies are on top by 8.
Yeah, Patrick up to 500 on 14 swings, no errors. I actually like that spread formation for rotation 1 for Virginia Tech. Let Patrick swing on the right side a little bit there. When they stack, that's okay. It puts her in her best position, but it doesn't give a lot of options, and the pass isn't perfect.
Bump set, and finding hardwood is Ali Sweet. Down by 7. Virginia Tech with their biggest lead in any set today. Sydney Harrington on the court, the VCU transfer with the serve. Easy receive by Mangual Duran. Popped up at the net.
Oh!
Got to respect the dig, but that's going to be 4 touches.
Call that a double because it hit off. I think Nussbaum dug that, and then it hit off his foot.
That's brutal.
Because it's 2 separate attempts. What happened here?
Pancake.
Yeah, Nussbaum dug it, and it hit off her foot afterwards. Before Harrington. Oh, interesting. Yeah, she pancaked it, then it hit off her foot. So because it's 2 separate motions, 2 separate attempts to play the ball, that's a double contact.
Back set. Far side swing by Melanowski, and a free ball for the Hokies. Robinson, quick tempo. Handled well. Roll shot, tipped up. Back to the Hokies. Denied at the net. Mangual Duran finds it. Robinson again. Got quite the rally building here. Far side swing, and it's out.
So neither of those swings from Jasmine Robinson were kills, but they were both kind of max extension, max reach. Dug well twice. And Megan Karen twice came up with good digs against her. But those are the type of swings you want to get your middles. You want to try and involve them in transition. Keep them working.
Also helps when you have Robinson's vertical, right?
Oh, one of the harder parts, if you have someone who jumps well, and Robinson gets up pretty well, you have to set the ball high enough for them. And I think a lot of times setters, especially young setters, not necessarily at the college level, but young setters struggle to set kind of high leapers well enough. You want to make them reach, make them extend, let them take the game to where maybe a blocker can't follow.
Quick tempo up the middle. Melanowski, cross-court swing, and she finds it. Hokies up by 11 right now. What are they doing to just run away with it in set 2?
They've taken UNC Greensboro completely out of system. Greensboro's not able to run their offense, can't run the middles, can't set Hanlon on the right side. It becomes all left side, becomes all Sweet and Timmerman on the left side, and that becomes easier to clamp down on.
And Mangual Duran with the serve. Punched out of play, an attacking error from Emily Hanlon for UNCG.
If I'm coaching there, I would call that a good block by Haley Pierce. She didn't touch the ball, but she forced Hanlon into a hitting error, left her almost no room, so you have to paint the line right here in order to score, and forces kind of that hitting error wide.
11 attacking errors for UNCG to Virginia Tech's 9. And as we said, after set 1, neither team hitting all too efficiently. Definitely an improvement in set 2, though.
Well, the big difference in the match here, UNC Greensboro has 18 kills in 2 sets. Virginia Tech has 29. That's a huge difference. They're scoring points. They're earning points.
Blocked at the net.
Yeah, I'm going to call it a double here. So it's a little bit of a harsh call because that ball's got to go over. It carried off of Jasmine Robinson onto somebody else, and so Aylward had to send it. The new double contact rule essentially reads that they're not going to call doubles as long as the ball is next contacted by somebody on your team. That's off the antenna right there, out of bounds from Haley Pierce. So if you double when you're setting one of your teammates, they're not going to call it. Just not. And we've seen that already this season. But that one, because it's coming across the net, is essentially an attack. They're going to be stricter on that call.
So setters' lives have gotten easier. Outside's lives haven't.
Middle's lives, who get to use their hands more to set their teammates, have gotten easier. I've seen some middles this year around NCAA Division I volleyball just chucking it, but that's cool. I'm happy for them.
Hokies calling for a tip on that swing. Haley Pierce, the one to get the kill, but a timeout as Virginia Tech does challenge. And it looks like this might be just a timeout overall, too. So if you're Marcy Byers, 2 straight points for UNCG. You were running away with it. What is Greensboro doing to claw back into this one?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a quick timeout here from Byers. Just settle down. Let's have a conversation. How do we want to finish this set? I wouldn't expect to see them look to call another timeout until 1915, 1916, something like that. Let's set up a play. Has maybe saw something she didn't like in terms of, hey, we're losing the plot a little bit on game plan. Let's remind everybody what we're trying to do here. And also, let's set up a play. Let's talk about what are we going to run coming out of timeout this first point. Sometimes some teams like, hey, we're going to talk about who we're going to set, on a good pass or a bad pass.
Bell Patrick leads the way with 9 kills between both squads tonight. Is that who you're going to keep feeding?
Well, Patrick's not in the match right now. In this rotation, it's going to be Pierce. Pierce is hitting 0. This should be a good rotation for Virginia Tech with Malinowski, Robinson, and Pierce. Pierce has struggled a little bit today. 6 hitting errors. I would look to see something, maybe set up a real play set here. Go Malinowski on the 5 on the right side, Robinson on a 31, and run Pierce up the middle. She scored last time through on the 2-ball.
Timmerman with the serve. UNCG down 8.
Go Aylward on the Bick.
Attacking error.
Yeah, so that's interesting to go Aylward on the Bick there, which I like it. I mean, it's in system, it's in tempo. We've seen Aylward take some good swings on that play set before.
And for those who don't know at home, what is a Bick?
So a Bick is a back row quick. It used to be, a pipe set, was like in the middle of the net, set around the 10-foot line. But coming out of the men's game over the last 15, 20 years, we've seen it leak into the women's college game as well. Just running that up tempo, almost like a back row 2-ball. Something that the hitter is going to take off pretty quickly after the setter touches the ball. And you're trying to hit that quick and not let the blockers adjust or make any kind of movements. And you go watch, it was 15, 20 years ago, nobody in women's college volleyball was running it. It was a men's only thing. They were starting to do it the international game. Man, now you go watch a 15 and under match and kids are hitting it. It's amazing how much better nationally we've gotten at attacking out of the back row. They're first options. There's plenty of players that are first option attackers out of the back row now.
A joust falls in favor of UNCG. They're back within 9. So back in your day, were you running that Bick at all? Or
me? No, I didn't jump high enough. They weren't going to set me on anything. We didn't have. The first player I really remember being an excellent back row attacker in the women's game, at least collegiately, was Stacey Gordon at Ohio State, who was, she's one of the greatest college volleyball players who ever lived. She was at a big swing from Pierce. Oh,
unlucky. And UNCG with 2 straight points.
But it was, instead of it being, you know, an exceptional player, now it's everybody doing it. Pierce down the line there. Sixside gets her hands up. Sixside gets her hands up and is able to just jam it back across the net. A little bit unlucky for Virginia Tech.
Cross court and it's tipped up. Robinson can't get it. Good far side swing by Kendall Lane Close, her first kill of the afternoon. Back within 7 is UNCG.
I mean, I think one of the differences is if you watch international ball, if you watch the Olympics this summer, you know, it's a great tournament. Go look and see, you know, watch Serbia play the Serbian women, Tijana Boskovic, who's arguably the best player in the world, and she is just as devastating hitting out of the back row as she is hitting out of the front row. I mean, that's what you see in the men's game as well, kind of as standard, but we're starting to get more and more women who can be devastating attackers, who are able to take off from behind the 10-foot line and hit a ball that's set 4 feet off the net and be effective. And that just completely changes the geometry of the sport.
Lane Close again. Back-to-back kills for her and 4 straight for UNCG.
Hey, they're making sure that they get the Edgy Yoda's Haley Pierce sub exactly correct this time around. As Yoda's subs in.
And here is Ece Yildiz, freshman recruit from Istanbul, Turkey. And not the only Istanbul native on the hardwood, weirdly enough. Patrick, you bet.
That's a really classy swing from Bell Patrick. That's what we would call kind of a D1 swing versus D2. It's not about college divisions. It's about kind of shoulder movement patterns. So the D1 is like a thumb up. Imagine sticking your thumb up in the air and then swinging across your body as you're showing cross court. I'm hitting cross court, and then you kind of tuck your shoulder in and swing across your body down the line. Doesn't have to be a 100% swing, but what it is very deceptive, and it defeats blockers and catches defenders unaware. It's a really nice swing from Bell Patrick. D2 would be the opposite. I kind of show line and then go thumb down and swing away from my body to hit cross court.
Back row swing, and they handle it fine. Allie Sweet with a roll shot over. Setter dump. UNCG scrambling. Sweet again. Patrick.
There's our D1 swing from Bell Patrick again right there. Cross her body down the line.
Another setter dump. This time they get it to go. Victoria Walgren finding the open spot.
I'd like to see Walgren be more offensive as a setter. She has really good size. And she's like 5'11", 6 foot. And just call her a number. Be more willing to do that, because in those 2-hitter phases, you need a little bit more offense. As a front row setter, sometimes you have to represent that third hitter who isn't in the front row.
Served by Walgren. So-so received by UNCG. Malinowski just out of play. Virginia Tech, match point, game point. Yildiz getting the dig. Stuffed at the net.
Big block there from Allie Sweet. Just tracks down Bell Patrick. Oh, big move. Gets with her elbow. That's how you know you're jumping high.
Yildiz with a clean receive. Bad set. Malinowski recovers. They go to Sweet.
Good block touch. Really good positive block touch.
Patrick threads it through, and Virginia Tech leads 2-0 as they run away in set 2. Clipboard.
Yeah, clipboard.
What's the attire? Are you going just a quarter zip, or?
No, we all wore the same thing. It was always, you know, polo shirt, slacks, and you know, the casual turn in college volleyball to, like, 5 pocket pants and maybe some gym shoes and things like that. It all happened, especially coming out of COVID. It makes sense. You can look international, professional. They dress like they're there for athletics, which is fine. Sometimes, when I was a head coach, sometimes like a tie.
Okay.
But if you have to warm the team up at the beginning of the match, like, you don't want to be wearing a shirt and tie.
Well, I'm warm in this suit and tie, and I've been sitting the entire time. So, Castle Coliseum, a warm place. Spartans up 1-0 in set 3. Long rally, a roll shot dug out by Mangual Duran. Malinowski gives the free ball over. Denied.
Oh, it's good effort.
Gotta like the effort, but Kendall and Close couldn't find the hardwood. And a nice stop up front for Virginia Tech to tie it early.
Good move from Mangual Duran there. And Jordan Hallman getting closed. Getting on the stat sheet with that block.
Belpatrick, there's that Bick you were talking about. She finds it.
So Patrick she's not a high flyer. I mean, she's not getting way up on top of that and just pounding that into, like, 14, 15 feet deep. That is a deep swing, but she brings so much heat. I'd like to see if she can develop more as a back row player so she can stay in the match, not get subbed out, and be more available as a back row attacker.
Quick tempo up the middle and just out of reach. Belpatrick pops up in celebration. She thought that might have been in. This one was close.
Yeah, I thought it was in too.
Oof, that might have been in. All right, no argument. And an attacking error from Hanlon.
Yeah, we're starting to see the Spartans start stacking up some hitting errors here. And that is not what you want if you are trying to claw back from down 0-2.
Hitting just 0.99 as a team right now.
That's where, so we see another block here. It's another hitting error from UNC Greensboro. That is where a close match can start turning into a rout.
And the Spartans call timeout. They're down 4, looking to claw back in at down 2-0 overall.
If I was to describe this sandwich in one word, I would say magical.
Virginia Tech leads 2-0, and they're running away with it early in set 3. So out of this timeout, we'll see what UNC Greensboro has to offer. Kyle Marshak alongside Jake Lawrence. Inside Castle Coliseum in Blacksburg, a nice Saturday afternoon matchup between the Hokies and the Spartans. And yeah, the Spartans looking slow in this final set, possibly.
That's going to be a lift here. Oh, net, actually, I'm sorry. Hallman trying to kind of chop that one out of the net. Ends up in the net.
A rare error by Hallman. How about the growth from her, a junior out of Tennessee? As a freshman, she played in 5 matches. Didn't play last year, and now she's a vital part of the blocking up front for Virginia Tech as a junior. They go to Haley Pierce. They handle it fine. Close pushes it over. Virginia Tech gets the point on the attacking error.
This is where Greg not being much of an offensive threat. She does not have an attacking attempt in this match. Even though she spends half the match in the front row, the blockers are essentially ignoring her and are able to go. You can see the shift right here. Robinson's already shading towards Landclose.
Set from Mangual Duran. Malinowski wanted the tip, and they get it.
Yeah, Maddie Timmerman there, block touch. First thing she said, she goes, I got it. So, no one's going to argue there. I think Landclose is the net here, too. Someone got it. Free
ball for VT, another joust at the net. Robinson says no way.
Yeah, to finish that thought about Greg, like you want to be some occasional dump threat from the setter position just so the blockers have to think about it, just so the blockers can't ignore you. Because if they can ignore you, then they can start focusing on your other attackers.
3 in a row for the Hokies. Nice dig. Malinowski offers it up. Glenn Close gets the tip, and UNCG, no. They're saying it was clean out of play.
Greensboro's players want the challenge. They're going to get the challenge. Landclose took a high hand swing. Pretty smart swing. The fact that ball's 20 feet out of bounds, that was on purpose. I mean, she's trying to hit that ball essentially high off the block, you know, into the bleachers if she can.
UNC Greensboro has challenged the call in court.
The call was out. Greensboro is challenging that there's a touch.
Kendall Land close, trying to get that tip call. It's close.
Certainly. It's going to be, again, hard to see.
Just getting a lot of burn in this game.
That might be off Robinson right there.
True freshman out of Georgia.
You know, Robinson's right hand, if it's anything.
If she gets this, it would be a career high in kills. Didn't play last game, so calling her number a lot today. And in tournaments like this, I mean, do you think the depth of your chart is pretty important?
Yeah, you know, you played 2 matches yesterday. This is your 3rd match in 2 days. You've got some tired legs. You have other people on the bench you can go to. Or in case someone's not performing very well, you know, you have to have these people. This is the time to use them. I think that's off Robinson's right hand.
Ah, yeah, I might have caught that index finger.
Yeah, you can see that index finger kind of pull back there as the ball goes past. It's close.
Yeah, it looks like it changes direction a little bit, too.
That is good work from our camera crew to find an angle. It's kind of a perfect angle. But I have been wrong so many times since we started doing the replay system.
Well, give yourself some credit. I'd be very curious to look in on the monitor that these, especially the down judge, is looking at.
We used to get, there was one year where here in Blacksburg, we got the DB Sport feed up on the video boards in the arena. We didn't have it on our broadcast. We had it in the arena for about half a match. And then someone came over and yelled at us because apparently that violates ACC rules. They came over and yelled at me. Here's our call. Wow. Boy.
No indisputable evidence, I suppose.
As I said, I'm wrong all the time. But yeah, someone came over and started yelling at like me during a timeout. I'm like, I definitely don't have control over that. So, but it was cool.
Maybe it was like you looked professional or something. They just assumed that you were the one at fault. It's unfair.
It is unfair.
Mangual Duran with the serve. Hokies with 4 straight points right now. Near side swing, tipped out of play. CC Fitz, the grad out of LaSalle. And helping out is Malinowski as well. They go to Robinson. Joust at the net. Back to Landclose. Quick tempo up the middle, and they dump it over. How about the vision from Maddie Timmerman?
Yeah, Timmerman, you know that Virginia Tech in that 2-hitter phase is really packing in blockers into the middle of the court. So that's going to leave that short zone 4 wide open if you can execute a tip. Now, you probably can't go back to that well right away, but it will be there later.
from the rafters. Robinson way up there.
It's been a big weekend I think for Jasmine Robinson's development. She's swinging well in the middle, scoring a lot. They're setting her in good spots, making her reach. Timmerman just has got to slide. She's got to move her feet, try and stay in front of that. Know that Robinson kind of coming from behind or coming from the middle of the court, she's going to have a hard time cutting that ball back to the left back. So you can kind of take her body in that spot, get a better touch.
On the slide, and Timmerman gets the kill. Now, despite the struggles throughout this match, if you're Felicia Turner, you're pretty happy that you got that Timmerman package.
Totally. I mean, there's been some good bright spots here for UNC Greensboro. It's been a rough last 30 minutes or so, but you can see kind of the bones of something good here.
Receiving error and a free ball to UNCG. No tip. No, it is. Tipped out of play. Haley Pierce getting lucky on that one.
I think that is the first official making that call, our up ref, because both line judges had that as out, no touch. Down ref, up ref can both make that call if they see it. It's just that's not what they're looking at. Like, that's not their responsibility during the point. Down ref's looking at center line and looking at net.
Float serve and a bad receive. Saving that is Nussbaum and a free ball. Robinson finds it through.
A little paintbrush there from Jasmine Robinson. Not a perfect connection. Again, she's up, she's available. They set her high enough. It's about a 30% speed swing, but it's enough to get a kill. It's that middle is so quick. Middle is so hard to defend. It's so hard to stop.
Pierce, service error.
Tell young setters, like, hey, if you want to look good, set your middles. Like, your middles are going to hit a high percentage. You're going to get a lot of assists. They're going to get a lot of kills. And then when you set your middles and they're scoring, that opens up the entire space for your other attackers. That's how you get kids one-on-one on left side and right side, and letting your big bombers on the outside just tee off one-on-one. That's how you look good as a setter. That's too low. See, you got to, again, that's not a full commitment there by Walgren. Walgren's got to set that high. She's telling Robinson too. She goes, I'm sorry, I missed it. I got to set you higher. Go right back. I mean, go right back to her. See, that's low. That ball barely clears the tape. Can't go middle here.
Yildiz with a bad receive, so a free ball to the Spartans. Sweet. Got stuffed at the net. How about that block from Walgren?
Big solo block there from Victoria Walgren. So send a free ball. Greensboro ends up in system, runs a good offense. Walgren knows she's one-on-one, makes the big move, comes up with the stuff. Allie Sweet can't get blocked one-on-one. Not on the left side. You have to find a way around it. It's not a perfect set, not a perfect location. You've got to find a way to not get blocked. That's a tough set.
Good save by Sweet, and she gets the kill.
So Sweet gets stuffed one-on-one in system and then somehow finds a kill off a bad pass and a trap set, outlet set. It's crazy sport sometimes, Kyle.
148 hit percentage, but still the mainstay offensively for UNCG. Do you think it's more Virginia Tech's blocking or the setting going on the other side?
Everything on defense starts with the serve. So serve, block, and defense. You know, that serve takes you out of system on a bad pass. That makes blocking easier, makes digging easier, harder to get kills. Every level of the sport, from 12 and unders to Paris 2024, it is a serve and pass game. If you are able to serve and receive better than your opponent, you are a long way towards winning.
Tacking error, so 2 straight points for the Spartans. Walgren sets it back row. Handled fine, but a bad set and past the antenna.
That is the rule change personified. Greg doubles that pretty badly. That's a call. That's a whistle anywhere ever until this year, because that ball is directed towards a teammate. The next person to contact the ball is her teammate, they're not going to blow the whistle. Now her attacker comes in, land close, and catches it underhand and gets called for a lift. That's a separate story.
Back set, far side. A good swing, but dug out. Hanlon couldn't get the hardwood. Roll shot from Patrick. Up the middle. Great dig by Yildiz. Pushed over by Melanowski. Back to land close. Third time's a charm. Clean receive by Mangual Duran. Patrick gets it to go. Why not keep feeding Bell Patrick?
Oh, set her till they stop her.
Yeah.
You would like to spread the wealth around, but that is not the job. The job is to win. The job is to get the ball to the person who's most likely to get a kill. Right now it's Bell Patrick.
Cross-court kill on the far side for Hanlon, but Wahlgren today, another double-double for her.
I think she's been really solid. I think Victoria Wahlgren has run a good offense today. She's been in control. Location's been solid.
Float serve, Mangual Duran handles it fine. Easy does it for Bell Patrick. Hokies lead it by 8 right now. Once again running away in set 3.
A good pass here from Mangual Duran. Bell Patrick just going over the top of land close.
Man,
very natural swinging on the right side too. You don't see that a lot from left side hitters, or at least all the time.
Hanlon gets it past. UNCG with a response. They're back within 7. Now, if you're Virginia Tech, man, what a sweep against UNCG to finalize this tournament would mean to them. Both to have a punctual victory, but also get back to 500 early in the non-con schedule.
Now you have 2 matches left against Chattanooga on Thursday and then Ryder on Friday. Neither team should really be. You should feel good going into both those matches. Let's put it that way for Virginia Tech. But you're trying to build into a very difficult ACC schedule. The ACC has been getting better the last decade, the last 5 years, especially with the rise of Georgia Tech and Louisville and Pitt especially Louisville and Pitt to national contender status. ACC's gotten a lot better, but then this year with the addition of Cal, SMU, and Stanford, I think it's the second best league in the country. I mean, it's you can't say that it's not. I mean, the SEC's tough because you bring in Texas, but man, like at the top, the ACC is as good or better than the SEC this year.
Yeah, they don't meet any of those new ACC teams yet. Their ACC schedule starts September 27th against NC State. Before then, Chattanooga and Ryder. Receiving error from UNCG, Virginia Tech on top by 8. Just 1 timeout so far, and UNCG could probably use that second one right now.
They will make the trip out to Stanford and Cal this year. But, again, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Louisville, Pitt. Pitt is #1 in the country right now. Louisville is number 5. Stanford is top 10. SMU beat Nebraska and Baylor this year already. It's quite the year for a league that used to be considered the weakest of the Power 5 has really risen.
You ever been out to Palo Alto?
I have not been. Never coached against Stanford. Never coached against Cal either, now that I think about it. Been to several Pac-10, Pac-12 venues.
Well, let's keep talking about this conference realignment. It's the ACC, but it's really more like the coast-to-coast conference when you add those 3 teams in. So
national final, I think 2010, 2012. And then SMU has been sneaky good. And again, this year is good. They stunned Nebraska second week of the season. sweeping them, then swept Baylor too last week. So they're going to be knocking on the door of the top 25. And as we said, Pitt and Louisville have been fantastic the last couple years. I've seen Pitt play 3 times this year. They're coming here to Blacksburg this season. We'll be on the call. They look like a national champion contender in a way that they haven't yet. They're loaded, absolutely loaded on the pins. Louisville's going to be tough. Georgia Tech is going to be tough. Like, this is a fun league this year.
ACC, 18 teams now, with the addition of SMU, Stanford, and Cal.
There's been talk starting this year, the SEC is bringing back their conference tournament, which SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12 all ditched their conference tournaments like 15 some years ago, longer, because it was better for RPI to just not have it and play each other more often. So it's off the antenna, I think. Okay, so that's blocked off the attacker, off Timmerman, and then off the antenna. So they ditched their conference tournaments because it was better for RPI to get more teams into the NCAA tournament. But now that they're up to like 16, 18 teams,
yep.
All these teams, like, all right, we're not playing double round robin anymore. We're barely even getting a round and a half. So how can you name a conference champion if you only play each other once, or if you play, woo.
Robinson from the rafters again.
So maybe looking at a way to say, hey, if we're going to award an auto bid to our champion, maybe we should have a tournament to determine a champion.
Right.
Big swing from Robinson there. And then I think now with how much fan interest there has been developed in this sport, 92,000 people at a Nebraska game last year. Wisconsin and Louisville able to put 15, 17,000 people in basketball arenas for matches. They're doing this all the time. I think that an SEC tournament, an ACC tournament, certainly a Big Ten tournament, you're going to draw crowds. You're going to draw big audiences for that, and then it becomes a moneymaker for your league. And now you start looking at women's volleyball the same way you look at basketball, in a sense that, hey, we can put people in seats and we can sell concessions and we can make millions off of it as a live sporting event. Completely changes how the sport is looked at.
Match point Hokies here, helping out their look as a member of the ACC.
Again, Walgren, she's blocked very well today. I think she struggled a little bit last night setting the block. She's had several stuffed blocks this afternoon.
And a float serve is an error from Haley Pierce. UNCG down 11, Virginia Tech match point. And we're talking about the macro perspective here, right? Virginia Tech, a member of what's become a much stronger conference in volleyball, what you think is now that number 2. Pac-12 used to contend it. The SEC is the SEC. Remember when the Pac-12 was a thing?
I do.
Good times. Quick touch over. Allie Sweet.
Nice dig from Carrick there off the block.
But a tip over, and Virginia Tech runs away with it in style. They sweep out UNCG in the finale of the 2024 Hokie Invitational. Jake, a big win for them as they level back to 4-4 overall.
Yeah, Virginia Tech trying to get back on track. I think a very, very solid performance.